This is my Denon AVR-S720W receiver. It's a really nice receiver. It does Dolby Atmos. Recently, I started having a problem though, where it would go into protect mode. When it goes in protect mode, the LED on the left, the power LED, goes from green to red. I don't remember if it goes flashing red or not, but it definitely goes red. And when this happens, you can turn it back on, and it's okay for a while, and then it happens again. And this was always happening at the same spot when watching Blu-rays. It would happen on some 4K content as well, and it was always at the same spot, but it was also always when something was happening that was very loud. So when this all started happening, I had made a lot of changes. I had moved the TV, moved the front speakers, I changed the rear surround speakers, and I also added Dolby Atmos speakers. So this really kind of made it a little difficult to troubleshoot because I'm like, what's happening? And also, after I made all these changes, and this is important, is I ran the Odyssey setup program, which goes ahead and adjusts all the volumes of the speakers. So I'm going to show you how I troubleshooted this here. At first I started swapping speakers out. I thought maybe the Dolby Atmos, thought maybe that part of the amp was bad, and it was really, this is a much simpler way to kind of figure out what's going on, and hopefully it helps you. It definitely may not be the problem that you're having, but I almost sent this receiver back, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So what you do is you have the Denon remote. You go in the setup on the remote by pressing the setup button. You go to the speakers, you select that, you select manual setup, and you go down to the levels. Then you go to the test tone start. And what should happen here is there's this white noise in the background, and the volume should be somewhere between all your speakers. And you can't do the sub because the sub's on a separate amp anyhow, so the sub's irrelevant for this. So don't worry about the sub. The sub's not going to put you in protect mode unless something really strange is happening. So what you want to look for here is two things. One, any volume levels that are just really strange, like why is it like that? And also when you're listening to it, for any speaker that's really quiet or maybe even really loud. In my case, what was happening is this center speaker here, and I fixed the problem already, but it was at like a +8. And even though it was configured to be louder or have a boost compared to all the other speakers, when you would go through these, it would be quiet. So I knew there was a problem with that speaker at that point. And with the noise, with the white noise going in the background, I took the cover off. I listened to each driver individually. Each driver actually had sound coming out of it, so I didn't think one of the drivers themselves was necessarily blown, but I started to pull it out to see what was going on. And when I pulled it out, as soon as it started moving, the volume changed. And at that point, I pretty much knew it was a cable issue. It was just a loose connection. So I pulled it out. I checked the resistance. That seemed fine. I noticed some of the wires were broken off at the cable itself, the speaker wire, and I disconnected that. I cut the end of the wire off. I restripped it. I used some CRC cleaner to clean the binding post up, and I reconnected everything, and the problem was resolved. I had to rerun the Odyssey setup, and at that point it set it to something more normal, and the volume when you go through them, now it sounds okay. It's not like before. It was really quiet. I mean, it was really definitely noticeable. So just come in here, look for anything that's out of place. Like for example, the front here and the right are similar volumes. The surrounds are a little bit different, and that's because the one surround's a little bit further to the side of the room than the other one, so that all makes sense. The Dolby, both Atmos are a similar volume. There's nothing really out of place at this point anymore. So just come in here, look for something where a speaker has been really boosted. And I'm sure what's happening is when they're hitting these loud sections on a Blu-ray or 4K content or any kind of movie, it was trying to increase that volume for that speaker just too much, and the amp just couldn't handle it, and it was protecting itself. And that's why it was also always happening at the same spot. Hope this helps you out, and you can avoid having to send it back, and hope for you it's something as simple as a cable, but it could be an actual speaker itself. One other quick tip here. When you're done, you get a problem resolved, just of course go ahead and run the Odyssey setup again. That way you get all your levels set properly.